And good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Tranny here. And I'm so glad you guys are here. Feel free, give me a thumbs up if you can, see and hear me and everything's going well. I mean, I can see myself, but I don't have in my headphones, so hopefully you guys can. Thank you. Michelle, perfect. You're the best. That's the one message I love to see. So thank you so much for joining me. Good morning, chat. Exactly. How you guys doing today? Steve, Tim, how you doing? Carol, Michelle, Bliss, Sean. New setup. Do you guys like my new setup? I don't know. I would rotate and show you kind of a little bit more, but you guys kind of get the idea. Okay, just kind of reorganized. No, the cat is not down here. Cats just being lazy, so that's what's happening. But I'm glad you guys are here and hanging out with me, so hopefully this looks okay. Fantastic. We're going to talk about... it's a little hot. There you go. Let's take that down a little bit. It is like a boom mic, so it's a different mic, so hopefully that's still okay. Thank you so much, Steve. I turned it down a touch. So hopefully that's okay, and hopefully you guys can still hear me and all that good stuff. But we're going to kind of dive into this. This is all about sort of having fun and sort of the role play has in design, right? And creativity in general, right? So sometimes I think we put too much stress on ourselves when we're working, right? And we got all this pressure and tension like in our shoulders, right? And so basically we want to just kind of introduce play again, because I think that's where our best work comes from, especially since it's Friday. This is a design masterclass. We're going to learn some new things, but then we're going to kind of show you some of my favorite techniques, my fun go-to stuff. So it's going to be good. It's all about celebrating with pride and creating with pride. So that's the theme. And let's dive on into this. Yes, thought I'd go retro with the shirt today. So let's go ahead and switch over. I'm going to change my camera. Hopefully the audio stays roughly the same. And let's... All right, check, check. Should be back now. And in both ears. So sorry, Carol. I just saw that. It's always that 30-second delay. Yeah, so it's a 30-second delay that I can't do anything about. But you guys should be able to hear me now, and everything should be good. So let me know. Sound is back. Oh, you guys are the best. So yeah, all I was saying is, there we go. We got it. New setup. I knew there would be some kinks. New mic. Like I was saying, sort of, the quote is typically play requires attention and acceptance of the unknown, right? And I think the same goes for creativity, right? Creativity requires attention and acceptance of the unknown. So that's what we're going to do. Again, sorry about that clipping. It's really bothering me. Oh, man. What are we going to do? I'll fix it is what I will do. But we'll dive into this. We're going to create with pride today. Just create some fun multicolor designs. And let's just do that. There we go. It's gone. Awesome. So we're going to do a sort of create with pride, because this gives us an opportunity to play with lots of colors, which is going to be really fun. And I'm going to use some different tools. In fact, what I might do is even kind of play with new tools like Adobe Substance 3D Stager, which is brand new. I think we're going to have fun with it. We still have Adobe Dimension, but we did announce a bunch of new tools within the 3D space, right? It's probably under one of these tabs somewhere. I opened up a lot. But I actually want to send this to you guys, the importance of play for enhancing creativity, because I just think this is good, right? It's like, let's have fun. Let's realize kind of like, yeah, what we're doing. Yeah, we have a subject matter, but we get to just kind of play within the whole realm of just creating with pride. So again, cool article. I just pulled one quote from there. You guys probably don't need me, to read this whole article, but please check it out if you could. You could see your brain light up when you're playing as well. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play with new tools. We're gonna play with tools that we already know. Again, this is Adobe Substance 3D Designer, which I think is super cool, right? Works very similar to Dimension, just so you know. You kind of have the opportunity to, manipulate graphics. But you got so much more going on here, by the way. So you have all this, when it comes to, say, the object and the material. Like, look at this. Come on now, look at this object. Yeah, we can change the amount of curves, maybe give it less curves as it goes through that sphere, right? Or more, as you can see. So again, just kind of playing around with that and the control you have there. That's a lot of fun. I'm also going to continue that in my Photoshop Masterclass as we talk about sort of the ocean and stuff. But super cool. We could still use this and elements of this, because really your goal is to use the best tool, for the job, right? But we're going to start quite simply right in here with good old Illustrator. So thanks so much for hanging out. It is so much fun, by the way, Megan. It is just a blast playing with good old, right down here, Substance 3D Stager for staging design. And there's other tools. But yeah, let's throw some color in here. Let's have some fun, everybody. And thanks so much for joining me. Let's create some fun graphics. So what we first off do is kind of take this. I'm going to go kind of nuts with this. And actually, we'll start right here. We'll do this. We'll take this. We'll go to our swatches panel. In your swatches panel, you're going to have sort of a rainbow of colors. So that's exactly what I need. Oh, and I see you, Elite Soldier, Marcus, Space Kitten over there. So right over here, we have all these swatches, these multicolors, right, that we can roll with. Bam, bam, right. I think this is cool. Sort of, it is a rainbow. Yeah, we might be missing some colors, but we're still good there. We could take this up, and actually let's take this and let's reverse these colors. So taking that and reversing it. So see what I'm doing over here, right? We could see all of these color stops, and we can just flip it like so. Bam. Right, that mixes it up somewhat. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and blend these two together. So selecting those two. Good old blend tool right off to the side. Good morning, Michelle. Yeah, right? What are the chances we'll see the blend tool today? Tim, are you saying I use the blend tool a lot? Or are you saying that the blend tool is probably one of the most amazing tools out there? You'd be right on both counts, right? So again, there we have it, right? So again, I just see people trying to make a rainbow and different things. I'm like, hey, this is a quick way to jump in and sort of make a multicolor design. As you can see right here, Command H. We're gonna actually jump in and change the size of this too. So we'll do 1080 by 1350 because this is gonna be for Instagram. So let's make sure we have the right size. Boom, here we are. Get rid of that. And then again, we have this lovely element that I'm just gonna position like so. A rainbow road, I'm into it, right? And this is typically how design works. You're gonna start with sort of like your most literal interpretation of the theme, of the project. Like you're gonna start with the most literal, like you're doing a coffee shop logo, you're gonna start with a coffee cup, right? The same thing here. It's like, okay, well, let's start with something. Obviously, we have this rainbow. I'm gonna double click. Let's change this from smooth color to specified steps. Crank that up as soon as you hit tab, right? It'll start to blend those colors together. You can see what it does. Ba-ba, there we are. Right? I'm like, this is okay. The colors get a little bit muddy. That's all right, right? We'll still use a multitude of tools today, right? And let's not forget our theme, which is, again, right over here. Create with pride. Bam. Super easy. The most literal interpretation, as we can see, of this theme. But again, the goal is to just kind of have fun and play, right? That's what I would want to encourage you to do. I'm really into, you'll be into certain things. I know I am. I'm sorry, my head was covering up some of that. But often I'm like, you go through phases where you're like I'm into condensed all caps fonts. I'm into slab serif. Anyways, so there we have Create with Pride. Anytime you do a design, right, it's gonna kind of look more elegant if you make things smaller. Like this is kind of in your face and like not, it's like okay. If you make things smaller like so, it's just gonna add a level of elegance to it that you might not get otherwise, right? All right. Oh, wow. Reverb Mike. I do not know that song. Is that okay that I do not know that song? So this is what I have. I really want to like manipulate this even further. And I could do that. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's expand this. Right? Here's all of our objects. Once it's expanded, we can go in and do an envelope distort. So we can make it with mesh or with warp, right? I'm going to do mesh. That's good. 4x4, right? And we just want to make it so we could actually see some of these, like some of the lettering. So let's just try to pull this. Is that not, that's not quite doing what I want it to. And that's a problem. So anyways, let's undo that. Is that the name of the song, Lucy? Anyways, let's take this element. I want to take this and I want to actually bring it into Photoshop. So here we are in Photoshop. Let's paste it in. Bam. Why am I creating this? Why am I acting like this is a tutorial and I know what I'm doing? Because you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. Right? And that's sort of the role play has in all of this. Like if you're going to play a game, you're going to kind of know the rules, like hide and seek. Yeah, you know the rule. Don't get caught, right? That's the only rule. But you could hide anywhere. Our don't get caught thing, or our rule is create with pride. That's it. That's all we get to do. And let's copy this and paste it in. Oh, the reason I pasted it in as a square is it pasted it in as a shape layer. So we could always make that a smart object or even pixels. But that's what was going on there. Zip, zip. There we are. Right, and we can manipulate it from there. Did you click to unlink the gradient? What I did do is I expanded it. Let me tilt this monitor this way. Yeah, I expanded it right up here. So that's all I did. Just expanded that out. Okay. Cool. You guys, excuse me, you get the idea. Here we are. We have that just right in Photoshop. Create with pride. All right, I want to like take this to the next level. So I don't think it's there yet. Right, super straightforward, right? Again, you guys know I'm going to do this. What I would typically do, and I don't want to feel like I have some of my old tricks, like, again, liquefy, because I don't have this in Illustrator. So I can take this, and start to push this content around. Let's increase the size of that brush, right? And you can see what's happening here. You can also decrease the density, so how much it's pushing around this color, right? And again, we could just go crazy with this. And it gets kind of psychedelic, and it gets a little muddy as we do that, but hey, it's not bad. Yeah, so we could warp that now. We can liquefy it, right? You guys get the idea. Let's go in here, transform. In this case, some of the tools are actually not available. Let's just see if I convert that all to a smart object. Oh yeah. So check this out. This is important, especially for you pro users out there, your general Kenobis of the world. But right over here, since I actually added this smart filter to it, you'll notice I don't actually have the ability to distort it or warp it. Anytime you run into something that's it's not highlighted, like you can't select it, it's because obviously your layer is too complex. Like in this case, right, it has that smart filter on it. So convert that to a smart object, right? And now it's like, oh, okay, now I can warp it, right? And we'll go ahead and divide it. So warp's going to allow us to bend those corners and all that good stuff. But also I could hold down the Option key, right? And I can put a pin right here, bam. Just like I was trying to do in Illustrator, and I can grab that and pull that down, right? Let's go ahead and bam, click right there, and I can pull that in. And just make sure we could see that text maybe a little bit better in this case. Let's take this, let's pull it over, something like that. So we're getting something kind of interesting there. Yeah, but you had to... Ooh, yeah, Garth. Garth's speaking my language, man. I love it. Like, I love it when, like, you know, you kind of see, hey, you know what? This would be really cool with motion, right? And even rotate them. Thank you, Tim. And you don't, anyways, I love that you're thinking about animation, because I definitely want to go there if I have time and I am able to open up another app. All right, so there we go. We'll save this to my computer. We'll get into some other things. Pride. I really also like, I like this, you know, this hashtag create with pride. I want that to be just my hashtag, by the way, on Instagram. So I'm actually more interested in the word unity, to be honest with you. Saw this at a coffee shop the other day, right? That word unity surrounded by a bunch of symbols. And I was like, I'm really into this whole unity idea, which is really cool. All right, so let me take a step back. Let me think. Let me have my brain think a little bit. Let's see what I can do. Let's just jump in. Let's take this. We are going to try something, and we're going to do some pixelate, and what we want is mosaic. So see. There we go. So mosaic. Yeah. Okay. So what I want is I want a bunch of colored squares. Okay. This kind of gets me there. Doesn't get me there all the way. All right. So you guys are funny. I love it. All right. So we got that. So I'm gonna jump back in here. I have so many different ideas, by the way, just like thinking about things. I was thinking about like symbols. I was thinking about the what we have here, which is the sacred geometry, as this is called, right? That's what this is. This would be fun to play with. So again, so this whole idea of like unity and including everyone, having sacred geometry, which is like, hey, you can create anything from this like geometry, which is kind of cool. So it's an all-inclusive like shape, which I'm into, and it just looks neat, right? It also needs a lot of color. So let's just do that. Let's have some fun, people, huh? Let's have some fun. You can pick on me if you want to. Just go easy, okay? So let's take this. We made this all one color. Let's go to our paint bucket tool. This is our live paint bucket. And why am I? Okay, so live paint bucket, right? We can start to toggle through all these colors. Just like that, bam, 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 right? And we can go through and start to do stuff like that, right? I'll do a little bit of this. I'm actually, again, just gonna see if this works. It might work, it might not. right? That's what I'm kind of curious about. Ooh, look at that one, has flowers. Will it work? Will it not work? This is a lot of work in general. Boom. I'm just keeping an eye on my swatches panel. I'm getting enough of these in there to break up this design. And honestly, we're just having a good time. So welcome, everyone. Any tips on colorizing all of this with like one magical click? Is that possible? Can we do it? That's a question to myself, by the way. Because again, play means, hey, some things will work out, some things you won't. You played in hide and go seek. Sometimes you got a good spot, sometimes you don't. Cool. Yeah. I'm wondering if anybody had like a favorite hiding spot when they were a kid. What that was. Did you have a favorite hiding spot? We played a lot out in like the like down by the river. You know, sort of, I don't know, like more like capture the flag type stuff. I remember doing a lot of that. All right, so you guys get the idea. You guys get it. Here we are clicking around. Okay, a couple more times. Okay, there we go. Are we good? How we looking? There we go. We did it. Alrighty. Let's just take this and duplicate that layer. So when you use Live Paint Bucket, you then have to expand it. So I'm going to expand it right now. Boom. Then we got to ungroup it. Bam. We should see all these individual shapes over here, right? That's everything I just made, right? So this is what I'm going to try next. Yes, baby. Oh, and I'm going to do you even one better after this, by the way. Let me just try something. Again, we're all about trying things. Maybe they'll work, maybe they won't. Oh, I got to try this really fast. Boom. Shabam. Shada. Taking all of these. Flipping that. Paint bucket. Let's just click. Let's take one of these colors. Bam. Okay, now I'm going to see what happened. I'm going to expand this. I'm going to ungroup it. Perfect. Okay, so you guys know that whole process I went through to make this, right? And really, I said, you know, this is like a lot of work clicking around. Is there an easier way? Well, I used Live Paint Bucket. I clicked once, and then I expanded it and ungrouped it. Now that I've expanded and ungrouped it, now I have all these lovely little lines right in here. So now I can take that and I can randomize it. So let's take this rainbow of colors right down here. Let's go to scripts. You guys know my favorite. I said this is old and new stuff. This is an oldie but goodie. I use this all the time. Random swatches fill. Shabam! There you go. We just included all of those colors, as you can see, right? It colorized everything randomly. And it's not going to get it perfect, of course. It's random after all. But we can always go in and say, hey, you know what? Some of these, yeah, that needs to be a different color. Maybe this one, of course, red. You get the idea. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Easy to do. And now we have this lovely design that also needs a background. Alrighty, folks. throw down a background color of sorts. And we're going to bring this into Photoshop. All right, there we are. So that looks good. Let's have some fun with this again. I'm going to select everything, copying it, bringing it into Photoshop, pasting it. Right, we have this design. We have Unity, which is kind of cool. But what's happening is the design's kind of taking over the word. So now let's focus on the word Unity, if that works. All righty, yes. And let me scale this up like so. Let's do this. We're, again, going to play. We're going to do a new layer. You guys ready for this? I'm showing you guys my favorite tricks. Cheers. I'm not only using After Effects, or excuse me, Illustrator and Photoshop, but I would love to dive into After Effects. I'd love to actually get into Substance 3D Stager some more as well, because this is kind of like, I love this sort of spectral look that we can create with all of these fun abstract elements, right? So that's going to be a blast. Anyways, here we are. I am going to write the word Unity using this background and not really a brush. I'm going to do this smudge tool. Good friend Luke Choice, Velvet Spectrum, taught me this, and I was like, man, you are the coolest, Mr. Velvet Spectrum. So I'm going to use this smudge tool on a new layer. I'm going to change this to sample all layers. We'll play with the strength, but we'll just start right there. And let's kind of rotate this up. I'm still dialing in my setup, everybody. There we go. So let's increase the brush size, make sure caps lock is off, and let's just try this. Let's actually make sure the hardness is cranked all the way up. Okay, undo. Let's just try this. Y. All right, you're going to see what I'm going for here in a second. I smudged that background. I didn't smudge it enough. In fact, let's undo that because I'm not quite smudging it enough. Let's change this strength. We're going to crank it up to about 90, 89, 90, kind of around there. And we're going to try this again. I'm going to zoom in a touch. So starting kind of right on that point, we're still getting a lot of smudging. N-I-T-Y. There we go. Created that. I'll turn off that background layer and you can see what it creates, right? It's this cool 3D look. I get it. We could use it we could do this with a blend tool. I already did it with the blend tool earlier. But yeah, so like I'm kind of into this. It's very finger painty, right? So that's why I want to tighten this up even more. We will still keep that one. Come here. Oh, let's make a new layer. And let's just try this again. And I'm going to crank the strength all the way up to 100%. You do have different modes, but ultimately I definitely want this one. U-N-I-T-Y. All right. Again, just playing with the strength. All right, so we're getting there, right? We'll increase the contrast or the levels on this. Actually, maybe the hue and saturation. We'll crank up that saturation, and that makes it look much better. I'm so glad I did that. That was like something I thought I'd try, since this is all about play and just having fun and just seeing what happens, and that actually worked out pretty well. All right, cool. I'm into it. Unity. This is currently my favorite one. Again, compliments of Luke Choice because he was the one that showed me this, right? Years ago. And I feel like the best designers are like so willing to just share their knowledge, and that's just so awesome. Let's try this again now that we know now that it's working. I T Y. Have fun with that Y. Kind of ran out of space. Let's undo that Y. T Y. There we go. Turn that off. Command U. I get it. This is destructive since I'm working right on the layer, but I'm into it. Okay. Am I hitting the mask button? I'm not hitting any button. It's just smudging what's beneath it. Now, obviously, the more colors that I have, so typically what I would do to sort of make this, I would have that pattern beneath it that I'm smudging. So this is the pattern that I'm smudging. I would have this as dense and as full of crisp colors as possible. So yeah. To answer Charlie's question, yes, the color randomizer is free, by the way. You can find it out there on the World Wide Web. I can't remember where, but just search for Random Swatches Fill. All right. Cool, we got that. It's all about unity, guys. Seriously, like you know what? Life's too short to not like people. It's too much work to hate. You know, I've talked about this before, but it's too hard. It's like too much pressure. Let's throw a little bit. Like I could add elements to this, so let's just turn that on. Throw this on there. Let's just draw a swift line down. Let's go back to my smudge. Just go down like that. Let's see if this works, because I feel like I kind of need to add a part to that N, like so. Kind of like that. Does that work for you guys? What other fun things can we do, right? What else can we do that's fun, huh? We're just having a good time today. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself wherever the day may find you. But we have that going on. Like that. Unity. Cool. Let's take this, convert it to a smart object. Command T. Shrink it down. Yeah, I don't know what else we can add to this. All right, maybe this is its own design. Maybe it needs, I think oftentimes when things are just kind of like floating there, they need some sort of element to ground it. So it's like, yeah, I will throw it in a circle or something. So let's do that really fast. You know, I don't know, something like that. That's what I have. This word is starting to look really weird to me. The mixer brush makes great worms. You are right. By the way, another tool that I could be using is Fresco, and I could use some of those live paint brushes. Would also be a good way to go. All right, so that's looking good. Let's save that and have some more fun with this. Again, we have our base shape. It's looking fantastic, folks. And all these wonderful elements. Yeah, Fresco sounds like something you should like, yeah. Or could like. I believe it. Okay, so now we're going to play with strokes. We played a lot with the fills, right? But we have these beautiful lines all in here. And first thing I want to do is change that. I'm getting a lot of these sharp points, which I need to get rid of. So we'll just decrease those sharp points by going into the stroke. And sure enough, we'll round the corners, bam. And I usually round the cap at the same time. And there we go. Okay, so for this, I'm thinking, okay, there's this stroke. It's all one color. I could try to randomize it if I want to. I'm actually going to throw the rainbow on it. excuse me, the rainbow on the stroke, right? So we have that. It's looking kind of messy, but I love that with the stroke, you have additional options. So let's just open up the stroke panel just for kicks. Stroke. Here's our innocent little stroke panel. Oh yeah, why don't you just show all the options to begin with? Here we have the stroke. So I can give this dashed lines, make these a bunch of dots. Is that really making sense? Is it doing it any favors? Let's go into the gradients actually. Here we are. Maybe I'll just keep that over here. But this is fun. For a gradient, when it comes to the stroke, we can apply that gradient along the stroke. When I click there, you can see for the length of that line, it's actually applying that gradient along that whole stroke, which is pretty cool. If I happen to cut it, like right here for this one, I will select the scissors tool and I'll just cut it right there. Bam, you can see it's going to break that up. So I can control each one of these lines just by cutting it at certain spots, and it's changing how that looks. So let's undo that. I think this is actually really cool. I really want to use After Effects, and I think we might have time. We could also apply this gradient along the stroke as well. So this is going to mean it's going to give you that full rainbow, and let's just change that. That full rainbow just across the width of the line, right? That would work if this line was much thicker. But okay, cool. We have this. What kind of animation would I add to it? Well, let's add animation right now. So again, we're having fun, we're playing. We have this cool line. I think it'd be really fun to animate this line. What do you guys think? I think that would be awesome. So let's do it. Let's take this, let's copy it. Let's open up After Effects and quit out some of these other apps. And have some coffee. Cheers, folks. Kavi, happy Pride to you. Oh no, Steve, you were sick? Or you're on the injury list? That's not good. I'm quitting Stager. We'll get into that during my Photoshop masterclass because you do end up making Photoshop files. So that's my angle for using it. And let's launch After Effects and have some fun. All right, we're going to have fun with this. I'm just kind of thinking some things through my head. I'm going to kind of give you a glimpse of what's possible. Yeah. I'm just trying to think how much I'm going to be able to get done. New project, folks. Welcome to Adobe After Effects and today's Design Masterclass. As we're just playing with just having creativity sort of like spur design and allowing us to create. So we'll go with that same size. Here's our shape. Let's just use Overlord. You guys know I like using Overlord because I could push graphics back and forth between Illustrator and After Effects. So that's why I'm going to use it. So selecting this, push that selection to After Effects. There it is. There's our lovely sacred geometry, as it's called. Right? We'll go ahead and throw a new solid layer behind it. That's going to be a certain color that I can always change layer. There we go. Okay. Look at all this madness. Oh, look at that line. Oh, look at these lines. Oh, some of these can be connected. Yeah, so again, I said new stuff, old tricks. When you paste something in, everything is going to come in as these like vector paths. Or copy and paste. Yeah, copy and paste. Yeah, this will allow me to kind of push back and forth without losing. Copy and paste is only one direction. With Overlord, I can go back and forth, which is nice. So yeah, I could have just copied and pasted as well. But either way, I know this works. I'm going to go into add for this line, by the way. Let's turn that off. Here's our singular line. Let's go to add, you guessed it, trim paths, because we want to animate it. There's a couple different things I can do now that I think about it. This is kind of one of the more advanced things. But here's trim paths. I will scroll down 10 seconds in. We'll actually about halfway in. That's what we're going to do. 5 seconds in. There we are. And then we'll scroll back, and now we'll control the start and the end of that line just by adjusting the percentages in that value. So right there, we'll take that to 100%, and now it's going to animate like so, right? Super easy. We can take that. We can do the same thing, kind of like the opposite. So for the end, we can have it go like that and animate out. Sure enough, what do we have? We have this little animation where everything grows. Everything is going a little slow. And that's typically what happens, at least when I animate. I don't know about you guys, but like everything is so slow and boring when I first start out. So Command K, change that length. Let's make this just a quick 5-second animation, right? So let's cut that time in half. And that's what we'll go with. So let's zoom out. Let's see if we can do a copy and paste with this. Let's go to Sacred Geometry. This next one, this next line, sorry, paste, hue, or U, and there we've just pasted in that same animation. Let's see if I can turn this on. Boom, baby. That's gonna work. I'm gonna select all of these. V, turn them on. Oh yeah, baby. Here we go. Let's go ahead and watch this. And now we have everything animating really pretty quickly. All right, look at that. Is that not fun? Is that not fun, folks? I think that's pretty fun. Yeah, I admire animators as well. Like this stuff, this seems to work out pretty well. I'm kind of into it. Save it. We're making the world a better place through design. I have about 10 minutes. And I can render that out. And I'm going to do more with our text over here because we could look at this and say, you know what, this would also be cool animated. You know what I think this needs? Let's just do this really fast. We just really need to smudge the heck out of this. In fact, you know what? Maybe we'll use Liquify here. Maybe we'll use that background. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just work here. This is kind of cool, right? So I like this. I like this. I wonder if I just clip that like so. And start to move it around and scale it up. Tell me what you think. Come on, Tim. I need you. I need you, Tim. I need you, Steve. Caroline, come on. I can't do this on my own. Like, what looks good? You know, is this working? Is it not working? Right? This is one of those times where, like, I kind of need to get up, you know, take a break, come back to it later. You know, it's definitely not as readable. I don't even know, not as legible. I don't know if, I just don't know if this is working. Ooh, we need to easy ease those animations. That's right, Steve. Not only easy ease those, we need to like offset them all because I think that would look better as well. I am open to thoughts. Like, this is super colorful. Let's just jump in here. Maybe it just needs a little pop. Let's just add, hit B for brush. We'll make sure that's nice and soft. And we'll just paint some highlights in here. So we'll give it a little highlight. I'm going to change this to, say, overlay. So now we're just adding those little highlights in there. Hopefully that's looking good. Right, we're just giving a little bit more depth. Just a little bit more depth. Let's do the same for shadows. Black. See, that looks really dark right there. I'm just going to change that blend mode to overlay again. Hopefully you can see that coming in. Just kind of faking 3D. Like so. All right. I need lasers. That's what I'm talking about. I need lasers. I need to have fun with this, right? Still getting used to my setup. But again, this could use some lasers and some sparkles. Okay, good. The highlights help. The T needs to be worked on some more. So I would redo the T because it's looking pretty flat. It almost needs like, I don't know, it just needs a different design element. Like, does it just need like a bar of color? That's what I'm trying to ask myself. Does it just need something like that? Really tiny lens flares inside each letter. So maybe it does just need like, maybe it does just need some sparkles. Is that what you guys are saying? Does it need sparkles? Sometimes if I'm having a tough time with something, I'll try something like entirely different. Let me actually see if this even works. How would I invert? There we go. Let's invert it. Let's do something like entirely different, like go an entirely different direction, right? Again, inverting colors. That's a little electric. Do we like it with black? No. Unity is positive. It needs to be white. All right. Reverb Mike's just decided to start a new conversation. Yeah, we could talk about this entirely unrelated topic. I'm just messing with you. All right, so luckily, like, I don't know if you guys use libraries a lot, but I typically have like all the fun stuff like rolled up in here, right? So if I did want to add any sort of, you know, cool gradient type thing, maybe that'll work. I know this one won't, but I might have some sparkles in here. Okay, so we have some light leaks. We have these bursts, right? So here's a burst. You can take this and say, hey, you know what? If I change it to lighten, it's going to get rid of the white. But we need to put on a different background. Do you guys like this? These little bursts are kind of cool. This is looking fun. All right, I'm kind of into that. Who said bursts and sparkles, right? But I'm really into this shininess of it all. So I think this is going the right direction. Oh, who was it? who was it? Who said this is a good idea? 'Cause it is. Luckily, let's see, lens. I have some lens flares and sparklers. So here's some brushes that I found. I probably got them from Brush Easy. What about Skulls and Flowers? Yes, always Rick H. Always Skulls and Flowers. Yeah, my friend. Heck yeah. Right? Oh, we could throw in some 3D pixel squid stuff, but I like the idea of these little lens flares. So let me just do this really fast. Shabam. Lens flares. Put some lens flares in it, man. It's got all these different ones. Let's change the color. Think about brushes, like they're typically going to be like all one color, right? But there's sort of like a little zing. Let's undo that. Why can't I undo? All right. Just throwing in some highlights. Per your request. Let's look at this one. You ready for this? Let's see what it looks like. That's what that one looks like. Shabam! Look at that one. Oh yeah. Right, and we could always change the blend mode. So that already makes it look much better, but it kind of hits that N. Bam. Yeah, so, and that's a good call. More background between the, more contrast between the background and the word. And that's kind of what these highlights are doing. So that's a good call. Command J. Let's take this, let's clip this like so. Let's bring this down here. I'm actually working on this part, right? This is the troublesome part. We can kind of throw that highlight right in there. You can see it kind of traveling around, right? And again, just kind of making that stand out. I desperately want to redo the T. Do I have time? I have time to start a whole new design because that's what I always end up doing at the last minute. So I think Unity, I also think of a circle, so I might end up putting this into a circle some way. Anyways, you guys kind of get the idea. This is really fun to work on. This is all 2D. This is mostly Photoshop. Yeah, I think it's working out pretty well. All thanks to you guys, right? So whoever said add sparkles, I think it was Steve. I'm like, man, well played, my friend. Thank you for that lovely suggestion. Again, I you know, through other people, you know what? That's how you create good stuff, I guess. Is stealing other people's ideas. I kid, of course. Thank you so much for watching. Down to my last minute as I try to craft a new T. Right, I do something like that. Turn on the sparkles. There's again, just kind of drop that one in there. And here I'd probably maybe use Puppet Warp to warp that into place. There we are. Pin, zoop. You know, and replace it like so. You guys get the idea. This has been a lot of fun. All thanks to you guys. Thanks for being awesome. I'll push the darks back as well for that background, and then I'll post to Instagram. And yeah, we're gonna have a fun day today. Hope you guys like my new setup. I guess I didn't switch between these two cameras too much, but thanks so much for hanging out with me, guys. Yeah, we have the one and only Terry White up next. You can kind of check the schedule below to see what he's going to be talking about. And I'll be back creating some ocean waves and some ocean conservation images. So thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. Michelle, Steve, Andrea, Space Kitten, Kavi. I see you guys everywhere, and good to have you guys in my corner. So really appreciate you guys. Stick around. T. White's up next. Thanks so much, everybody. And we also have a daily creative challenge.